or they were ambassadors, if you will, blue collar ambassadors. You know, they did, I suppose, I would like to believe that they helped old ladies across the street. You know, that they stopped their vehicle and helped the, you know, kid get out of the middle of the street, you know, as he's chasing his ball around. Or whatever. You know what I mean? A decent human being just trying to do a good job by his fellow man, by his neighborhood, by his community. Well, we are far removed from that. Now, if we're jaywalking across the street, we can be shot and killed on sight with extreme prejudice because we are breaking the law. Grandmothers can be beaten in their homes for talking back to a law enforcement officer. Law enforcement officer. Fucking fags. I'm sorry. Okay. Wow.
You're good.
But one of the things, you know, that I want you to understand that I have been able to determine in my lifetime is this. Is that a gang is a gang is a gang. With no disrespect intended to Crips or Bloods or Aryan Brotherhood or the Mexican Mafia or the Hells Angels or the Mongols or on and on and on. It's not about that. But what I'm trying to do is give you a contrast and understand that these peace officers or these peace officers who have now become law enforcement agents for the state are criminal gangs. Okay? Let me help you understand it. Now, I'm sorry, man. I don't like the way that sounded myself. Okay. Thank God that my wife is here because, you know what I mean, it lends credibility and credence to what I'm saying. My wife and I had an experience with some law enforcement officers. Actually, we've had several experiences with law enforcement officers together and apart. And each time we were put in the position to have to put these law enforcement agents of the state in check. Because what they were trying to perpetrate against us or against defenseless members of our community was unacceptable. And my wife at one time confronted one undercover cop and two sheriffs, right?
One sheriff.
One
and
sheriff.
then the other guy who started
was hiding
in the gas station across the street. Yeah.
Doing surveillance. Well, my wife put these cops in check. My little wife put these cops in check. Why? Because what they were doing to another human being was unacceptable to her. So she put on the brakes, got out of her car, went to the aid of this person, and put these people in check. Now, these law enforcement agents of the state backed off. Why? Because they could see the conviction and fire in my wife, knowing that she was right. Why? Because she dared to check their conscience and dared to throw their conscience in their face, knowing that what they were doing was wrong. And my wife, as a result, had a huge impact on this community and how the defenseless and the weak are treated in this community. Because my wife set a tone with these law enforcement agents of the state that people are watching them, and people that do not fear them are ready to get hands on and deal with them correctly and remind them of the oath that they swore to the Constitution. And that no matter what color a person is or what their demographics might be, I think I talked a little bit about that before, mistreatment of people is unacceptable to people like us. We just don't have that. my wife watched me manhandle 2 cops, that tried to, they thought they were going to come onto our property. That's funny as shit. Oh.
Right next to our "We don't dial 911" sign.
On our fence, yeah, we have this. Who gave that to us?
I got it.
Oh, you got it. I thought it was
not that kind of.
Somebody who betrayed us, but that's okay. She got put in check too, and now she's a million miles away because she knows she fucked it up. Okay, we don't take kind. We treat okay. But what I'm trying to establish here is that realize that until law enforcement of the agents of the state return to their constitutional duty and disposition as officers of peace, you must perforce see them as the criminal gang members that they are. Now, I don't want them to be criminal gang members. I got enough problems to deal with in my life. And I gotta look over my shoulder, you know what I mean? And, watch these fuckers try to creep up on me. It won't work. You know what I mean? I may be getting on in years, but, I haven't lost my wits. But what I'm trying to share with you guys is that once you get away from the conditioning that, these law enforcement agents of the state are untouchable, or that they are, above the law, or that, they have special rights, to fuck you over as they see fit to act as judge, jury, and executioner. Once you realize that they have betrayed their oaths, that they have betrayed, their trust of the people, you can no longer afford to trust these people, or to think that they're not going to just draw down on you and fire on you like what happened to that poor black woman and her children with those fucking New Mexican fucking pigs. Holy shit. That's fucking shit shocking to me. I mean, but there's even far worse stories than that. You all know them. We all watch that shit and we sit here and burn. We burn and we sit here and imagine, man, if I was there. Well, see, the thing is, people, is that if my wife can do it, not to say by any means that I'm like, saying that she's below standard or that, she doesn't matter, she doesn't count because she's a woman. Look, what I'm trying to say is that if my wife has that kind of conviction and love and compassion for other people and can respond to it appropriately and accordingly, not thinking about what's going to happen to her, but letting that pure outrage, demonstrate itself to these fucking demons in the flesh of men. You must consider another way of approaching this. You have to, you must change the way that you see these people, because the way that they see you is sickening. Most cops that do that, and it's most cops that do this and participate in it, have a very, very low opinion of themselves. And they are like any schoolyard bully, but these are far more dangerous and lethal than schoolyard bullies. See, because they roll up in a cop car with their little cop suit and their little cop gun and their little cop attitude. People are immediately disarmed by that. Like, oh my God, it's the law. And they start thinking, the first thing they start thinking about is they envision themselves in handcuffs, being in the back of the cop car, being drugged off into some fucking drunk tank somewhere and fucked up. And what amazes me, and I know that it shouldn't, because I understand, what fear is and how it fucks you up, but it still amazes me that people have not yet gotten it, that, these are the motherfuckers that are in the wrong, so stand your ground against them. Don't take any shit from them. The worst, I know, and that once again, the whole fear thing comes up, death is new to you, I get it, but it's like putting on a brand new pair of shoes. You gotta break them in for a couple of miles and, you don't even know it anymore. It's just natural to you. this is why, because my wife and I have such attitudes, I guess, people would call it, that we're cocky, I guess. That's why we're hermits. That's why we have our business at home. That's why I wrench here at home. Economy sucks really bad, and most of the work that I do for the last 2 years has been almost purely volunteer work, hasn't it, sweetheart? I mean, oh my God. But that's okay. Fortunately, we were able to get away with that, and I'm grateful for that. But people, I just wanted to share that old memory with you to let you know that we've all had to breach this fear. We've all had to get through it. And the reason that I threw the whole cop thing into it is because they are the front line for the state. They are the front line for the New World Order. They are the front line for the United Nations. They are the front line for the Department of Homeland Security. They have become representative of everything that is evil and wrong with this fucking society. They help no one but themselves. They are corrupt beyond, any scope that I can even put to it. I don't even care to look at it too much because I don't need to. You know what I mean? I see the way that they behave and I know what they are. But once you understand these lethal bullies, and once it's really fixed in your mind that, hey, wait a minute, these are bullies, man. These are the enemies that are trying to criminalize me and make me look to be the bad guy so that they can justify what they do against me and what they do against my community and what they do against the public at large. I've seen it in my lifetime. Cops get killed. Of course, not in this country, unless it was on a videotape or something like that. But where I come from, killing RUC was, they were the number one targets because they were representing the crown, and their brutality knew no limits, and they had no restraint. And so I myself didn't, I was just a child at the time, but many people in the communities that I was raised up in, they had no choice, and it's a fucked up world, man, have to live like that they put you in that position to have to do the things that you have to do to protect your family and protect your life and protect what you have. So sad. But folks, I'm sorry. I just wanted to share that with you to try to give you some perspective from experience. Another thing I want to throw in here. Do I have time to throw something in here really quick?
We'll find out. It might cut us off.
Okay, never mind.
All right.
Friends.
We can redo it. Start.
Have a good night. I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to find ways to help. Adios.
That's all, folks.